Okay, so my neighbor, where I used to live, we hooked up with him today, and he brought over his sailboat, which is a small 18-foot precision sailboat. Nice little boat. And we met up with him, and we took a nice sunset sail, made quite a few reaches back and forth across the Potomac River right here. And so he just dropped us off here, and he's headed back to his house. We got the boat, and we are going to head back up to where her dad's boat is. And it's a considerable distance from here. It's somewhere between 80 or 100 miles from where we're at now. So we have to sail all the way down the Potomac River, and then we're going to hit the Chesapeake, and then we have about 45 miles up the Chesapeake to go. And it is right now just after sunset, and we are headed downriver, and we don't really know what we're going to do. We're going to check the weather. We might anchor out, we might not, we might just sail all night long. Not sure. All depends on what the weather's going to say, and that will determine the choices that we make. So anyways, yep, got a lot to think about here, and we'll keep you guys updated along the way.
Disaster mess in here, but that's because when we got on, we just threw everything in here and we started talking and hanging out, and now I gotta clean up so we have a place to sleep tonight. So I'm putting it all away.
So it's roughly like 12:30, and we have pretty slack wind out there, somewhere around like 10 knots or something, and we're still cruising. We have the autopilot going on outside, so the weather looks like it's going to be fairly forgiving tonight. So we still haven't decided if we're going to stop or not yet. We're still kind of just underway. But it is it's so strange, you know. We haven't been sailing in 4 years or something, and to spend so much time, you know, on our little homestead and all that is involved in doing that, and trying to survive there, and then to 1 minute find ourselves here in this little boat, you know, like it's just a strange thought. I don't know. I feel a little self-conscious sharing that, but it's making a lot of sense to me.
At 12:30 at night.
At 12:30 at night, yeah. Maybe sharing your thoughts at 12:30 at night thoughts is not the best idea. But our little boat's cruising along pretty stable, about 3 knots or something, fairly slow, and the wind is in a good favorable direction. So as of now, everything is moderately stable, and we do kind of have, like, this a little bit embarrassing to say. I wasn't really going to say this, but I think I'm going to say it. So our batteries, there's 2 batteries on board the boat, and we have a little solar panel, and they're not actually holding charge as good as we thought, and so we're not using cabin lights, you notice right here. And we're also not using running lights, and that's the embarrassing part right there. Now, we can look around, and there are, like, you know, tug barges and ships that come up through here and things like that, not to mention a bunch of small, like, pleasure boats and stuff come up through here. So we are keeping a good eye out there, and, you know, and if we see somebody, we can turn our running lights on. But the reason why we're not using any juice right now is because we're trying to save our battery for our autopilot, because the autopilot is the most important thing that we have right now. Once the sun comes out tomorrow, everything will charge back up and we should be okay. So that is kind of seems a little irresponsible to not be using running lights after dark, but there's nobody around and we're keeping an eye on that, and I think it's more important to save the option of the autopilot. So yeah, we're gonna go look around and make sure we're not gonna get run down by a ship. All right. Okay, so it is now about 2:30 in the morning, and the wind has picked up a little bit. Not bad. It's like 10 to 12-ish a little bit. So our speed has increased too. We're doing like a good, reliable 5, maybe even a little bit better than 5 knots at times. The sea state has picked up a little bit too. Not bad. Nice smooth sailing out there. And so what we're doing is we're setting an alarm that goes off every 20 minutes. So we sleep for 20 minutes, and then the alarm goes off and we get up and then we look around to make sure there's any hazards around or anything like that. Keep an eye on our chart and our position to make sure there's no big buoys and stuff. That's like one of the main things now, is like buoys that you can run into. But everything is pretty big and open right here, so you don't really have much risk of running into buoys or nothing. Ships is definitely an issue, and barges and tugs and stuff like that, but you can see those guys they're real lit up, so you can see them from a real long way away. And you can also kind of like stay safe from them too by just staying out of the shipping channel. The problem is if you get out of the shipping channel, you can hit obstructions like pound nets and things that the local watermen have out, and that would be a total disaster, crashing into a proper pound net. So anyways, yeah, everything's going pretty good so far. We still got a little bit to go before it gets daylight, but we're making some really good time right now, and so we're just gonna keep going. All right, so we have, we're looking at the open Chesapeake right there. We're at the mouth of the Potomac River right now. I'm not sure what time it is, maybe like 8 o'clock or something. Didn't get much sleep last night. When you're like setting like 20-minute alarms, you don't really sleep. But pretty good night. Like, we had nice wind all night long, and never really got rough. We made a lot of time. I was surprised. It started out pretty slack, but then we made up for that quick, fast, and in a hurry with some good speeds, hitting a lot of 5s and even a couple 6 knots there. So we're looking at the open bay right there, and here in another mile or something, we're going to make our turn up the bay and start headed back north. And so from here we have roughly like 50 miles to go. I think we're about to the halfway point, and the wind has laid down a little bit this morning, so we're only doing about like 2.5 knots, and the sea sort of flattened out, which is okay. But the water's nice and clear. That's nice. All right, we'll give you guys an update in a minute. All right, so we're setting up for the ultimate challenge right now. Make sure to take my knife out of my pocket, everything out of my pocket. So we're only doing like 3 knots, which doesn't seem very fast, and it's not. Unless you're not on the boat, then it's fast, because it's hard to catch the boat. So we're getting ready to go do the ultimate challenge. The best way to wake up. Man, some good old salt water. Haven't felt salt water in a lot of years. Feels good. I'm gonna do it again. Okay, she is preparing for the ultimate challenge, because the last thing you want to do is not be able to grab the boat. That would be completely lame. Fairly safe in this environment though, because I can turn around and go get her. If we were out at sea in the middle of the night doing like 7 knots off the wind, that'd be totally irresponsible. You ready?
All right.
Alright, she made it. As you can see, we got us a safety line going out there, just in case.
I had to fix myself.
That water feel good?
Oh man, it actually was a lot warmer than I was expecting. I was expecting to be freezing, but
yeah, water's nice.
2 thumbs up!
Yeah, all the way. All right, so we have an eye. We got a visual on the what would be the equivalent of the sea buoy for the inlet here at Tillman Island. It's not really like a sea buoy because there's no real sea buoys on the Chesapeake Bay, but it is a channel marker that marks the inlet, so we can see it with our eye. About a half a mile up here. Yeah, the last hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours, the wind really just straightened up really nice. Picked up to about 15 knots. A little sea state developed behind us, and we're going wing on wing, straight downwind here. Perfect conditions. So yeah, that was a nice little trip there. Not bad to I don't know, kind of get our sea legs back a little bit after being off the sailboat for so long. But yeah, I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. We'll see you guys next time.